The truck driver survived the crash, but his condition is unknown. Authorities say if it's found that he was negligent, he's likely to be charged with culpable homicide or murder. Nomsa Masego, BBC News, Johannesburg.
20 Ethiopians, including a prominent blogger and opposition figures, have been sentenced to jail ranging from 8 years to life imprisonment. They've been convicted on charges of conspiring with rebels to topple the government. One of those jailed today in absentia is exiled journalist Abebe Gelan, and he joins me now from Chicago in the USA via webcam. What is your first reaction to the sentencing?
Well, I was not surprised to hear the conviction and the sentencing because the Ethiopian government is trying to suppress freedom of expression. So this is part of the extension of the government's effort to violate our rights, using the courts as tools of repression.
But by you supporting the rebel group, the ONLF, are you not breaking the law in Ethiopia?
It's not actually the ONLF that we have been charged to have been linked with. It's an organization called Gimbot 7, which is an exiled opposition group. It has no record of committing acts of terrorism in Ethiopia at all. But the government is trying, to link us with this organization. I'm not a member of this organization in the first place, but according to the government, we have been linked to this organization and conspired to overthrow the government using terrorist tactics. But most of us convicted of these terrorism and treason charges are journalists and exiled political activists.
So what do you think this tells of the freedom of justice in Ethiopia?
Well, as the international community knows very well, as it has been condemning the sentencing and the convictions in the last few days, there is no independent court in Ethiopia. The courts are controlled by the government, and the government convicts and sentences anyone that it doesn't like to outrageous terms. I am one of those convicted of terrorism and treason charges, but in reality, I have been living in exile for the last 14 years. I have never been to Ethiopia. I have never been linked to any terrorist organization, or I have never had any criminal record in my life.
Okay.
But for the Ethiopian government, if you write articles critical of its discriminatory, apartheid-like policy, you will be convicted of terrorism. That's what happened exactly.
Okay, thank you very much indeed, Abebe Gelan, journalist in Chicago. Now, this is Focus on Africa from the BBC World News. With me, Sophie Ikenye. A little later in the program, Peter Okoche will be here with all the sports news, as a former England football captain John Terry is found not guilty of racially abusing another player. And from rubbish to art, how industrious Senegalese are making money out of rubbish.